Hello there, fellow miners. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Icarus, Volcanic, Prometheus. Episode 28. Finally not saddled with all the weight. Alright, the water trough, of course, needs power. And it's rather power hungry, if you ask me, like, in the scheme of things. So, just, like, keep that in mind, that, it's gonna tax your, like, both of these things will tax your power grid. I did just get an achievement for having, provided everything I need for the pets, you know, food, water, bedding. So yay, go me, even though it's not like plugged in yet. Apparently I still get credit somehow. There we go. We have a filtered water trough. And in a second here we should see, yep, there we go. I was gonna say we should see a run on the water, because the water for my pets were like a straight up 0. As I said before, they cannot dehydrate to death. So it's not a big risk for them to be 0 to water. A lot of players will take the strategy of only giving food and water like around the time that they plan on using the pets, so it's less maintenance. But now the pets have food and water, and I have food and water. Taking a look at our power grid, we're using 1,000 of our watts out of 3,500 on the pump and the water trough. So we still have a little bit of wiggle room there. And then for water, I'm sure we have a lot of room, because the water trough doesn't use a ton. So for water, we're only using 180 out of 1,000, so no problems there. All right, I think at this point, what makes the most sense is for me to work on Matt's processor, because almost all of my progress is going to be blocked otherwise. So that requires an immense amount of electronics. That's the big bottleneck. So getting the copper required for it, and possibly the epoxy, is, but probably not because I have sulfur, is going to be the bottleneck. But I do have that electric drill for copper going, or sorry, biofuel drill. And I have a pick specifically for copper, so I think we're making it more tolerable. It's only, I'll update the priority. Or I did, rather. So we're going to want to bring biofuel over to the drill and carry that copper home, and then, you know, continue mining up the copper. But I don't think we'll be that bad. The materials processor is cheaper than the electronic furnace. So electronic furnace requiring 80 concrete plus the same amount of electronics, I think, is a greater burden. God, those stone jaws just keep coming back. So this biofuel can didn't quite fill all the way up because I didn't leave tree sap in it. That's my bad. I fix that. I'll just give it a minute. Where I am going, I'm not going to need the repair hammer. I'm not going to... Well, I did have a damaged ramp that I could remove, so I guess I'll carry that. But I'm not going to need my water and power tools. For sure. Ooh. I want 2 more breeding centers, which is 40 beeswax. I think, right? Let's make sure. Do I even have 1 breeding center? I made 1, right? Or no? No. Alright, so I need 3 breeding centers. So let's make 60 beeswax while I'm out. Beeswax in this game is like hilariously heavy compared to like the amount of trees that you can like hold. Like a stack of this honeycomb is 25 kilograms. A stack of wood is like 15 kilograms. Like honey is just magically super heavy. I don't think about it that hard, but I do find it funny. All right, let's go fetch the copper from the drill that we got set up after grabbing my fuel can. Don't jump the gun. And this thing topped up perfect. Now, unlike the oxide, which mines up rather quickly and will fill the drill, copper mines a little bit slower. So it's going to take a little while for a copper drill to fill entirely. So it's going to... I don't have the exact math, but I'm pretty sure it will fill the drill, or it will use up all the fuel well before it fills the drill. Whereas with oxide, it was the other way around. It would fill the drill in half a fuel tank's worth. So it becomes a bit of a chore to keep churning out the fuel for it. So just like keep that in mind when you're drilling. And it, oh, I sprained myself. It will also possibly make sense for me to invest in an electric drill at some point. But there's other higher priority things for me to do first. With me here, let's mine up a little more. I'm trying to think. There's a cave here that'll go to. Do I have my... Okay, I have all my picks. Good. So he... Oh, stone. Oh, gross. I didn't see... any... copper? So I guess we'll just get the titanium. I know, like, I'll eventually use a whole bunch of titanium when we start to get titanium tools and composite tools. So I might as well just get it now. While I'm here. Yeah, it's always disappointing to me when there's like stone as a deep drill source. The wood we have is balsa wood? Well, I mean, we know it's coconut wood. I don't really know the density of coconut wood. I've definitely never seen coconut wood as like a industrial product, but I imagine a coconut tree weighs more than just like honey that a day's worth of harvest would get you off of 3 hives. Fermi estimate. Fermi estimate. I think honey in this game weighs a little bit more than it should versus everything else. Not that I care. I don't. I really, really don't. I just thought it was funny that a stack of honey weighs more than a stack of wood. By a lot. Like 100 honey versus 100 wood. 100 honey would be 100 kilograms. And 100 wood is 15 kilograms. You can see why I find that funny. That also infers that, like, when you make honey tea in the game, you're drinking, like, a few kilograms of honey in your tea. Which is disgusting. I want to actually go check. I'm going to go check the... I think it's 5 units of honey that go into a tea. Which is like 5 kilograms of honey or something like that. I've heard of southern sweet tea, but not anything in that. Yeah, it is 5 units of honey becomes honey tea. And that is 5 kilograms of honeycomb becomes 1 cup of tea. All right, well, I guess you're, what, speedrunning diabetes? Yes, I know I'm like chugging T-bone steaks and drinking like sulfur water. I get it. I get it. It's a video game. I don't. It's actually one of the critiques I have. People that like try to take video games too seriously. I'm like, it's a video game. Like, stop trying to take it seriously. That's ridiculous. So, I'm right there with you. I just think it's funny. The weight disparity is just odd to me. That crop plot's gonna get annoying. I'm destroying it. Plum or bust. Alright, I don't have a lot of wheat seeds left, so some of this wheat is gonna go back to grinding for more. And then the rest will go in this queue, which is completely backed up by beeswax. The next thing I grow, let's start growing coconuts again. The other thing I could do, now that I have like plumbing, is I can make, not in the potbelly stove, but an electric stove, I can make the candies a lot easier. Oh, you know what, let's do berries as well. I know it doesn't take a lot of berries, so I'm just going to do 1 berry bush, but I want berries for beer. And then I'm going to start growing yeast as well, because yeast is an ingredient for a lot of advanced foods as well. Maybe not necessarily the ones I'm going for, but I'm going to get it anyway. Oh, I thought I loaded this in the correct order. Let's fix that. I obviously want copper first because I'm trying to make the materials processor. So the titanium plates, carbon fiber, let's work those now. Here's 2 of 3 plates. And the last plate. Carbon fiber needs epoxy. What I'll wrong bench. What I'll probably do for epoxy is mine sulfur and combine that with tree sap, and to get epoxy that way. Because grinding up a whole bunch of bones over and over and over gets tiresome. The redbacks around here will give sulfur when killed, so like getting them is another way to do it. But if we take a look at our animals, yeah, food and water is like completely perfectly fulfilled now. Oh, and also Dom is wild. So bloodline trait of wild is 1% chance to cause hemorrhage on hit. I don't know if that's retroactive. Oh. Hey, you. All follow me. So, let's see if I can tell. Hemorrhage, 4%. I don't think it was retroactive. The Slotus is also wild. And JD is also wild. All 3 of them are wild. Those were their generic traits. So am I correct in saying the cave here still had copper? I believe. Once this storm's over, I'm gonna go gunning for more copper. Well, we have 15 of 60, so we have a quarter of the electronics that we need for the upgrade. So it's getting there. Concurrently with that, I don't think... Yes, so the breeding center does not compete with the same materials that I need for... for electronics, so I'm going to do the breeding center concurrently with it. Because the breeding center will allow me to make more bees for honey. And I do intend to invest very heavily in honey-based foods. Honey meads, honey pastries, honey bacon, honey everything. Because I really like the benefits of honey. So here's one breeding center. And the breeding center allows you to take queen bees and put them in the breeding center to make new bees. New worker bees. So there's no way to replenish your queen bees. You have to still, like, cave and tree for them, wild hives. But at least you'll be able to make, worker bees. And it's pretty efficient. You make a lot of worker bees for one queen bee. And the way to do this is you just right-click deploy, and it attaches to the right. So the way the beehive upgrades work is the beehive extractor goes to the left, which I don't intend to use, and then the beehive expansions go up. And it has to be small first, then large. So there's an order of operations for that. Oh, this guy is totally out of bees. The rightmost hive. And I'll go grab... and the center hive as well. I'll go get my queens and get them put into the breeding centers. So we have 3 queens, and soon I'll have 3 breeding centers. So you put that here in breeding, and you will get worker bees from your queens. And I am waiting on the last of the wax, which will take 7 minutes, so let's go to sleep. Alright, continuing the push for electronics. Let's do this. I know that this is like the big grind to tier 4. I get it. I'm just trying to mix up enough tasks intermingled with it to keep it okay for you all. The other thing I might want to mine around my base is epoxy. Or sulfur, rather. And for 2 reasons. 1, it will allow me to make epoxy. And then 2, if I do get a prototype thumper to regenerate the voxels around my base, those mined up sulfur nodes could then subsequently become, you know, more sulfur, or they could become silica or something useful like that. So, let's go over to the cave I know that has some copper and grab that copper. Do the queens have a lifespan? They do. Yes. So eventually the caves will, the queens will, get used up and stop spawning workers. I forget what the ratio is. It's something like 1 queen makes like 25 workers or something like that. So I mentioned this before, but the queens aren't, you can't breed new queens. So they will eventually be consumed, which means you need to get queens from caves or trees. Obviously, in the volcanic biome, I can't get tree hives. So I'll have to get cave hives. Cheers! And yeah, there's lots of sulfur everywhere. But the sulfur I'm most interested in is the sulfur right next to my base, because the sulfur right next to my base is the sulfur that's most likely to get refreshed when I prototype thump, because I wouldn't be... Ooh, nice. I wouldn't be thumping all the way out here. Like, I'm nowhere near home. I swear this was... Oh, no, this is where there was extra... No, there's copper here. I take that back. I may also want to stop neglecting gold when I find it. Only because gold is also one of the materials needed for electronics, and I have a lot stockpiled, but eventually I'm going to run out, so... I don't need nearly as much gold as I need copper, but I shouldn't ignore the gold. Oh god, there's so much gold here, though. This is like... The gold that's in this cave alone is like all the gold I'll need for the materials processor and then some. Alright, I'm not getting the rest of the gold. Oh, no, I take that back. My inventory is basically full. I'm basically fully encumbered, so I might as well just top up with the last of the gold and then head back, smelt it all, and return to the prowl. So the cave, this cave here had copper in it. It's a rather unimportant cave. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bite the bullet and go to the basalt to grassy transfer tunnel and just hoover up all the copper that I find there so I can stop, like, piecemealing a little bit of copper at a time. Because one big run of copper should do. The other thing I can do in this instance is, let's make a saddle and bring the buffalo. So the buffalo can act as beasts of burden. I'm just going to have to be careful with them because they aren't great at defending themselves. So I'm going to bring all the animals over to the transfer cave and just do one big mining run. I think that's a... Might as well put them to work, right? That's a usable, reasonable use case for them. Just topping up my food. I'm bringing like way more than I reasonably need, but whatever. 10 of each. My current weight is 44. Is there really a... There's not a good way to like lower more of that. A lot of the stuff I'm holding is like kind of needed. I probably don't need as much health recovery elixir. I'll put some away. But I don't want to, like, ditch tools and stuff. So, yeah, it is what it is. If we're bringing the buffalo, it's not a big deal. So, for the buffalo to come with us, we'll need riding saddles for both. So, let's saddle them up. I don't even think I have the blueprint for that. I don't. So, I'm just going to get the basic riding saddle. Leather for a rope is what we need to transfer down there. And this will allow them to be ridden if I want to ride them myself, which I don't really want to because they're not very fast. And then also for them to carry stuff. So each buffalo can hold 371 and 348 kilograms apiece. So that's a lot of weight. And for that reason, I'll bring all my mining picks to the cave. I'm going to use the all follow whistle, which is square bracket left, to tell every single pet I have to follow me. And I can double check it here that, yeah, they're follow aggressive, follow aggressive, follow aggressive, follow defensive, follow defensive. And let's work our way over to the cave. Now, the big risk here isn't really wild animals, it's gravity. I need to be careful that the pets don't follow me over a cliff. So running there and running back, I have to make sure that they don't decide that they should cliff jump. But if I was to use them as a mount, you know, it would look something like that. But buffalo aren't as fast as moa. Well, actually, that might not be true anymore. I'm not even sure. It used to be true, but now maybe you can breed special fast buffalo with the new update. Where, like, you breed for speed traits? I don't know. It's plausible. But there's not a lot of big mountains between me and the transfer cave, so I'm not too worried about the fall damage. It's the way back that's the problem. Are you dive bombing me? Probably. The dreadwings don't really hurt very much, so I don't really care if they dive bomb me. A high-speed buffalo is a terrifying concept? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's, I think, the whole point of the animal genetics, is you can selectively breed for very powerful pets. I don't know how super useful they're going to be against the future update for hostile NPCs. But I imagine they'll be stronger. I just don't know by how much, by what measure. Oh, you don't. And this is exactly the situation that the buffalo don't fare well in. Is they're not, like... I mean, they're pretty good combat pets when they're max level, but that little... I think I stabbed Alex more than Alex took damage from anything else, but still, I mean, it's... You gotta be careful with them. So the plan is to have them at the mouth of the cave. I don't need them taking a lava bath. So once all the pets have traveled over to where I am now, I'm gonna set them to stay. And I'll just bring out the mined stuff to the mouth of the cave, doing trips. It'd be sick if they could ram. They kind of can. It's called Thump Thump. It's one of their talent points, which inflicts blunt force trauma. Unless that changed. I'm pretty sure they should still have Thump Thump. Maybe they don't have Thump Thump anymore. Did they really not? Did they nerf Buffalo? Oh no, there it is. Thump Thump. And Blunt Force Trauma inflicts a status debuff on the things they hit to reduce the melee damage of those things by 25%. What the hell? Is that my... Yeah, those are my pigs. Ideally, I want the pigs next to the buffalo for the buffalo's own protection. So I'm going to wait until the pigs are, like, up here. So I just told Alex and Yusuf to wander via whistle commands, which is delete key. when you're looking at them. So there are 3 commands for staring at a pet, and then 2 commands for global. Alright, all of the pets are here. Good. So all come here, and all wander. So now they're all set to wander around the area where we are. Next talent point for Yusef. I don't think I'm going to have them specialized in Thump Thump, because I don't think that I want to make that investment. So what I'm going to do to keep them alive is to give them cat-like grace. Because I think fall damage, now that they have physical armor, with the thick hide and the tough as leather, I think fall damage is probably their biggest weakness. Okay. So here we are in the transfer cave. This leads to the grasslands, and I'm mostly here for, like, copper. Pretty much exclusively copper. I don't think I really care about the other metals. Because I just got a whole lot of gold. Was I thinking about replacing the hog that I lost? At least not immediately. No. I've already added 2 pets this stream. It's, my main reasoning is, like, there's not a lot that a 4th hog will offer me that 3 hogs already don't. There are boss fights that, like, the 3 hogs would struggle with, and 4 hogs won't change the equation much at all. There's even an argument to be made that, like, if you get too many pets that have the endless hunger trait, it's a net negative. Because if you have, let's say, like, 10 hogs, for them to significantly heal, they need to get Killing Blow. So they're competing with one another for healing. So if you have, like, 3 of them, there's a 1 in 3 chance that they get a Killing Blow and they heal a significant portion of their health. If you have, like, 10 of them, there's a 1 in 10 chance. And keep rolling 1 in 10s over and over and over, there's, like, a decent likelihood that your hogs will die as a result, because they just can't land Killing Blows to heal themselves back up. So yes, the damage will get mitigated over 10 individuals, but those 10 individuals won't individually heal more frequently. So there are some enemies, like swarmy enemies, that might be fine for having a lot of pets, but there are some enemies that you probably don't want that to have happen. Stronger individual enemies or something like that. I don't know. All I'm saying is sometimes more isn't necessarily better. It's also certainly harder to feed them to... Now that there's global whistle commands, it's a little bit easier to control them, sure. I absolutely... before yesterday, I would never say have more than, like, 5, because you'd lose your mind trying to individually control them. But now that there's global whistle commands, that issue is mostly fixed. Hey, tacos! The other tacos. There's so many tacos. Thank you for the resub. What is your favorite taco? And you can see why I have them waiting at the mouth of the cave. You wouldn't really want your pets in here. There isn't a lot of worms in here. There's like a few side caves in this main cave that has worms. But the main cave where I am now doesn't have any, which makes it, I mean, it's unbelievably hot. So it's not super awesome to be in. But it, at least is, bee and worm free. $39. Ooh, lava. Lava, interestingly, is like not a terrible status effect. The real negative of being in lava, as you can see, my health bar is not moving much, is if I step on thatch anything or anything flammable, that gets torched. So you have to be careful not to, like, burn your bridges, literally, not figuratively. Because the status effect for being on fire, other than it's hurting you, is it just massively increases your water consumption. So yeah, there we go. Survive swim in lava. Woohoo! I did it! I'm a lava walker. I might need to go into the side caves, because I don't see a lot of copper left in the main ones. With that said, I don't have a lot of carry weight either. So I'll have to go back to the mouth of the cave. And then if you hear worms, that indicates that there's, like, side passages. So there's a side passage below me here that... down that way and around. That counts technically as its, like, own cave, I guess. As odd as that sounds. But be careful when you're caving like this that you have a way out, because a lot of these caves, there isn't. You might get lucky with the unstuck command, like taking mercy on you and shoving you outside again, but you also just might end up stuck, you know, and screwed. All right. I don't know how much more copper I need, but I could spend all day mining the stuff in here because there's just a lot of stuff in here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this load home and see if it gets me the materials processor. Because I don't want to spend too much time mining. I'd rather mix it up with other tasks. You burned down a house because you stepped on the campfire? Yeah, that's exactly why I, despite the fact that I like the aesthetics of, like, wood interior, I refuse to use it, knowing full well that it's hyper flammable and it takes one mistake to burn everything down. So I do not build with interior wood floors for that reason, because it's so easy to just, like, oopsie, and everything goes up in flames. And before I return home, I was just going to get a little bit more titanium. Because certainly, once I'm done with the materials processor, we're going to want to start rocking some titanium stuff. Titanium tier tech, weapons, and whatever. So, amassing that is going to be useful. Can get a better lamp? Yeah. So I've mentioned this a lot, but I actually prefer this one. The biofuel light is not omnidirectional. It's directional, and it faces forwards. So it's casts more of like a light forwards, but less of like a ambient light. So it's kind of harder to use because it will have harsher shadows. And then the electrical one that you get in tier 4 has, it's kind of like LED white light. So it's a little harsh on the eyes. It's a little bit, it's slightly brighter than the biofuel lamp. But it's like harsher lighting. And then also it's more annoying to charge because it needs to be set on a charging station. Whereas the biofuel lamp I can just like repair. So it's like lazy fast. And for that reason, I tend to stick with biofuel. If I have the excess resources at some point to show you the alternatives. Is this my copper pick or my gold pick? Oh, that's the wrong one. You know, if I have excess resources in the future to show you, like, the alternatives, I could do that. But having used all of them, and then there's, like, flashlights, but because they're actively used and not passively used on your belt, I don't really consider them reasonable alternatives myself. The only better is the rechargeable one, but it's super bright. Yeah, that's the, that's this one. So you unlock the charging station, and then you can unlock the battery-powered lantern. But but as I said, the battery-powered lantern has, like, really bright lights that are, like, a little harder on the eyes. Thank you for tuning in to Icarus Volcanic Prometheus, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow prospectors.